Hey everyone, welcome back to your favorite pirate crew. Today we are going to uncover what Luffy is missing to be considered a real emperor of the sea. If you would like to see more about One Piece in our channel, please leave your thumbs up and subscribe to join our pirate crew. In One Piece we can see a bit of each emperor of the sea, more with their mysteries and others showing all their magnificence and power. But something that intrigues and not only draws attention and also leaves a good part of the fans with doubts is if the Luffy is an emperor of the sea. And if not, what is missing then for him to be? So let's try to explain as much as possible about this subject. First of all, we should point out what the emperors of the sea are in One Piece. The emperor of the sea are the most powerful pirate captains in the world, each with their own territories and dominions. They are not allies to each other, quite the contrary, although they will be more like rivals than enemies. And let's start talking about the Emperor of the Sea with an honorable mention. Edward Newgate, better known as Whitebeard, was the captain of the Whitebeard pirates and the one who came known as the strongest man in the world and the closest man to One Piece after the death of Goldie Roger. Before forming his own crew, he was a member of the legendary crew Rock's Pirates, and later in life he became a member of the Emperor of the Sea who ruled the New Road, before his death in the Marineford War. In his prime, Whitebeard achieved the title of Road's Strongest Man, long before the Great Pirate Age and the death of Roger, who was his rival, for he had immense power and ability to destroy the world. He ate the Gura Gura no Mi, a paramecia-type devil fruit that made him an earthquake man. It was considered the strongest devil fruit within the paramecia class. According to Sengoku, Whitebeard had the power to destroy the world. With the power of his devil fruit, Whitebeard could create absurdly powerful shockwaves by breaking the air like glass. These shockwaves were consequently redirected to the ground, resulting in severe earthquakes. If it reached the bottom of the sea, it generated huge tsunamis. He could create these shockwaves in mid-air, rendering any attack from the air ineffective. He could also use these shockwaves to attack enemies directly, both generalized and specific targets. After Ace's death, Whitebeard tried to stop Akainu but was attacked by Kizaru. In episode 484, instead of blowing off half of Whitebeard's face, Akainu only managed to remove part of Whitebeard's mustache. Instead, Akainu successfully punched another hole in Whitebeard's torso and visibly filled it with magma. In addition, the battle between Whitebeard and Akainu continued for longer, with Whitebeard launching more attacks against the Admiral. The fight between Whitebeard and Blackbeard is extended in the anime. Blackbeard lands punches to Whitebeard's torso and chin. Even after proving that Whitebeard's earthquake punch has no effect on Blackbeard, Whitebeard continues to punch several times before using his power. Whitebeard was unable to move after his last attack on Blackbeard, but managed to move forward, and his body turned red with smoke blowing from it, similar to Luffy's Gear second. This was probably done to show his fury. Also, Whitebeard's speech about One Piece was longer in the anime. Now that I've made honorable mention of an Emperor of the Sea who is no longer with us, let's start talking about the current Emperors of the Sea. And at the end I will answer the video's original question. So stay tuned and stay until the end. And let's start our list with the infamous Marshall D. Teach. For those who don't know who he is, the guy is basically evil incarnate in person. He is darkness itself, everything evil enrolled in this man. But joking aside, he's better known as Blackbeard. He's the admiral of the Blackbeard pirates and emperor of the sea. He is also the first and only person in history known to have the powers of 2 devil fruits. These devil fruits are the Gura Gura no Mi, yes, the same devil fruit that was used by Whitebeard. After his death, Marshall used an unknown method to steal the Gura Gura no Mi from Edward Newgate, who himself claimed that with the power of darkness that reduces anything to nothing, combined with the power of earthquakes that brings destruction to everything, he was truly invincible and the strongest. He also has the ability to use armament haki and observation haki. He uses menton claws on his left hand, 3 pistols strapped to his belt. His accuracy with them is not fully shown, as he was only seen emptying his ammunition into Whitebeard at close range. In the Marineford War arc, he appeared later in Marineford, having arrived to see the death of his former captain. He's seen with the new recruits from Impel Down. Blackbeard then tells Sengoku that the only reason he got the title of Shishibukai was to gain the means to enter Impel Down, and is glad that he no longer needs the title, having lost his composure. Blackbeard's orders to his men are to shoot everything that remains of his former captain. Despite this, Whitebeard accomplished his death with his final words, stating that Blackbeard is not the one Roger is waiting for. Afterwards, Blackbeard was in shock to see that Whitebeard died and standing up. Despite this shock, Blackbeard and his crew quickly covered Whitebeard's body with a black cloth, which Blackbeard entered briefly. Not only the power of Yami Yami no Mi, but also of Gura Gura no Mi, inexplicably managed to extract it from Whitebeard's body. With a powerful laugh, Blackbeard proclaims all present and to everyone watching that from that moment on, this was his era. During the tournament of Mera Mera no Mi, Dressrosa, Teach was overheard discussing the possibility of recruiting Kuzan to join his team with Jesus Burgess via Dan Dan Mashi, to which Burgess stated that the former admiral could not be trusted. When Burgess announced that Luffy had arrived, Blackbeard greeted the young witch-he pirate and expressed surprise that he was a fighter in the tournament. Knowing Luffy's reason for entering the tournament, Teach assured him that Burgess would be the one to obtain the Devil's Fruit, and that it would be the same as having Ace John had rejected his previous offer. Luffy then angrily stated that he would never allow him to steal Ace's power. As news of Luffy's exploits in Total Land spread around the world, Teach read the newspaper and laughed as he commented that it was too early for Luffy to be called an emperor of the sea. Now we will go through Charlotte Linlin. Charlotte, aka Big Mom, is a great woman. Not only don't judge anyone by their looks, she is the only emperor of the sea in the group who is a woman, which means she is very brave. She possesses an immense level of brute strength and can destroy entire cities with her bare hands. Her body is almost indestructible, but becomes more vulnerable when she suffers a mental shock. When she gets into an emotional crisis, the raw power of her voice is capable of incapacitating extremely powerful fighters, such as Katakuri and Smoothie. Her voice is also powerful enough to act as a barrier against bazooka shots. She is the matriarch of the great Charlotte family, which makes up the infrastructure of her crew. She also rules Total Land as its queen, seeking to form an utopia where all races of the world can live together in peace without suffering discrimination and segregation. She was the last emperor of the sea to be named. Her epithet was first mentioned after the Battle of Marineford, Eustace Kid, and her real name by Papag in the Island of Fishmen. Due to her actions, role, and intentions, she is the main antagonist of the whole Cake Island arc, and one of the central antagonists of the Emperor of the Sea saga. We will now see Shanks, the redhead. Shanks is a guy who simply needs no introduction. The guy is too thick-skinned. He's the main inspiration of our dear Mugiwara. He was the one who gave him the famous straw hat. He stands on an equal footing with his fellow Emperor of the Sea, even though he's still young. However, the extent of its powers remains largely unknown. He is so strong that his presence alone was enough to convince countless elite Navy officers to quit rather than risk angering him. Now to the last emperor, the main antagonist of the ongoing arc of Wano, Kaido. He has been called the world's strongest living creature, and for good reason. Kaido possesses an unfathomable level of brute strength. He was able to defeat Gear, fourth enhanced Luffy, in a single blow. Kaido possessed great speed. He was able to travel several meters for his nearly indestructible body, being immune to damage and conventional to execution 40 times, and has survived them all. When they tried to hang him, the chain broke. When they tried to impale him, the spears broke. When they tried to cut off his head, the blade broke. Most notably, Kaido survived a 10,000-meter fall with only a minor headache. The only person known to harm Kaido was Kozui Oden, who used the famous Emma blade. Now, the essential point. What is missing for Luffy to be the Emperor of the Sea? We have to remember that Luffy is already considered by some people, but for this to be definitively realized in the work, it would be his victory, or with the defeat of these two, in my opinion, he would be considered the 5th Emperor of the Sea. That's it, my Mugiwara. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any suggestions for a video, don't forget to comment below, because I will be reading them all, as I always do. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any content from